Hello once again, another video about DMT and God, I suppose, just one more of those. So apologies if I'm a bit less on the ball today. Had a seizure yesterday night, spent the night in A&E, got back this morning, and I passed out like this, banged my head, and I was just unconscious for hours. And when I woke up, I was paralysed and blinded, hence the effects of the seizure. So not 100%, like I say, but I'll do the best I can. Right, and this is a direct reply to the people who have commented. So I will say again, I'm not making these videos because I'm trying to grow a readership. I'm really not interested in growing a readership. I don't want money. I don't want revenue, nothing like that. I'm replying to you personally. Okay? So, I'll start at the beginning once again. So, I think the discrepancy here is people who are selling the idea that you use DMT to get to God and saying that my experience isn't as good as theirs. The reason I have issue with that, I'm not saying your experience wasn't good or anything else. It was probably fantastic and you got a lot out of it. But you were asleep while it was happening. You were like knocked out with a drug. You couldn't have gone on with your life afterwards and during because you were drugged and you were asleep. So everything you experienced, you yourself can't vouch for because you were asleep and you were on drugs. Whereas my experience, I was completely 100% sober and awake, and I can vouch for that experience. So that's the reason I'm saying it's not the same thing, because and that's the reason I'm saying my experience is a real experience of God, because it was in real life outside. And the thing that happened, you probably haven't watched my other video, but the thing that happened, the signs that I got, if other people were present, they would have seen exactly the same thing, and they wouldn't have required to have been on drugs in order to see that real thing. It physically happened in real life with real objects, and anyone who had any sensor equipment or just saw it with their own eyes would have agreed. Whereas with your experience, you would have need to be in your head in order to see it, and nobody else saw it, and you couldn't reproduce it, and you couldn't give it to someone else. So that's what I meant about it's not a real experience. So yet again, I will repeat, I'm not saying DMT is not fun. It sounds great. It really does. In terms of drug experience, it just sounds like the kind of thing I might enjoy if I was looking for a drug to enjoy. Because I like the idea of smoking weed as well. So you can mix it with 1.5 grams of weed, like someone said on one of the other videos I watched of their actual DMT experience, where they mixed 1.5 grams of weed with some DMT, smoked it in a pipe, and I can demonstrate through my great acting skills what they then did. They then did this. And they were sat like that for 25 minutes. I watched the whole 25 minutes to see if anything happened. Nothing happened. And then when they awoke, they were like this. And didn't talk for 10 minutes. So you can't tell me that's not a drug experience and a God experience at the same time. It just isn't. It's a drug experience. They had a drug-induced hallucination while they were asleep, which looks like great fun, but it wasn't God. I'm sorry, it just was not. It was in here. It was like an experience only that person got. Whereas my experience, like I say, is repeatable. Anyone I tell about it who goes and does the same thing will have a similar experience to me in real life with real objects, repeatable, demonstratable. If anyone else is there, they will witness it. So that's it. I'm sorry if you thought I was being dismissive, rude, or whatever. I really wasn't. And you can see that in my comments. If you look back through the commentary on the video, the DMT video, you could see I am the one who's absorbing the insults and the rudeness. I haven't been rude to anyone. So like I say, the point of this video is just so people recognize the difference between a drug-induced hallucination, which mimics what you think a meeting with God might be like in your head while you're asleep, and my experience, which was completely 100% sober, awake, in real life with real objects that you could, if you would see if you were there. And you don't need to be on drugs to see it. There's no sensory, you were just seeing it normally. So yeah, I'm quite happy to have the conversations. In fact, I love having the conversations, and I think you know, I can't remember what the guy with the yellow icon. You sound like a talented guy. You're a museum curator, and you know you create and build and design things, and you're an artist. Great. You sound like a fantastic, talented kid. You really do. I won't say kid. I don't know how old you are. A lad. You sound like a talented lad. You and I would probably get on really well had we met under different circumstances. But I just feel like you've taken it personally that my opinion and my experience is opposed to yours. You think my experience cancels out yours. It really doesn't. Your experience and your review, you're reviewing the experience of smoking DMT. I have no experience in that, so your review was great for that. But like my original video says, it wasn't a God experience. And to be honest with you, it's irresponsible to tell people that it is, and to tell people that they need to smoke this drug in order to have that God experience. And I'll make another video on why. It should be obvious, but I'll do that in another one. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you next time.